Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. We from Group 1 and we can presentation about approach in accounting theory. And the member of Group 1 is Muhammad Iqbal dan Ilhami, class ID number 287, and Evelyn Natalia Akila, class ID number is 116, and Alia Azahra Putri Dida, class ID number is 303, and Indi Era Basira, class ID number is 470, and the last Muhammad Reza Pahlavi Anwar, class ID number is 3, 5, and 1.
Events are any action that can be described with one or more basic dimension or characteristic. Because the number of characteristics and the number of events can easily be influenced by observation that may be relevant to the decision-making model of a user, the event approach proposed a development regarding accounting data presented in financial statement. The characteristic of an event besides monetary must be expressible. The event approach also assumes that the level of aggregation and valuation of accounting data is. In the event approach, the balance sheet is considered an indirect communication of an accounting event relevant to the company since its formation. In the event approach, financial statements are considered as a direct communication regarding operational events that occur during a certain period. In the event approach, the cash flow statement is better viewed as an expression of financial and investment events. In other words, the relevance of an event is not the cash flow result, which determine the reporting of an event in the cash flow statement. The accounting theory regarding normative event has been tentatively concluded as an effort to attract the attention of people like shareholders, employee, managers, suppliers, customer, government agency, and foundations, so that they can predict better the most relevant characteristic for significant events like internal, environmental, and transactional that affect the organization are combined gradually and interdepartmentally, periodically, and free from biased conclusion. Event-driven accounting information system model include 1. Hierarchical model. Based on the concept of an accounting information system, an event that allows user to query the database. Second, network model, using initially unstructured database input as a set of questions or data requests to develop a hierarchical data structure that will minimize the number of records that need to be accessed to answer a request series. Third, relational model, based on mathematical theory about relation. Basically, a database is a collection of relations of various levels that have different times. 4. Entity relationship model, assuming that an accounting system can be modeled most naturally in a database environment consisting of a collection of real-world entities and the relationship between those entities. 5. REA research event and agents accounting model, a representation of the general entity relationship of accounting phenomena with components consisting of devices that represent economic research, economic event, and economic agents. The usefulness of the event approach may also depend on one or more of the following arguments that may lead shortcoming. First, the usefulness of the event approach may depend on the psychological state of the decision maker. Second, there can be an excess of information from the experimental effort to measure the relevant characteristics of all events affecting the company. Third, adequate criteria for selecting significant events have not yet been developed. 4. Measuring all the characteristics of an event approach may prove difficult to do, given the current state of the art of accounting.
Okay, next I'm going to explain about behavioral approach. So the first one, I'm going to explain about the nature of the behavioral approach. So most traditional approaches in developing accounting theory have failed to consider user behavior specifically, as well as behavioral assumptions in general. The behavioral approach to the development of accounting theory emphasizes the relevance of decision-making regarding communicated information, are focused on decisions about what to communicate, and the behavior of individuals and groups influenced by information communication are focused on the decision makers. Accounting is assumed to be oriented toward actions aimed at influencing behavior directly through the content of messages delivered and indirectly through the. Next, I'm going to explain about behavioral impact of accounting information. Research on the adequacy and use of disclosures shows general acceptance regarding the adequacy of existing financial reports, general understanding and comprehension of financial reports, and an acknowledgement that differences in disclosure adequacy among financial statements are caused by various variables, such as company size, profitability, and the size and status of the auditing firm. The impact of decisions on accounting procedures is explained primarily in the context of using different inventory techniques, price level information, and non-accounting information. The results of these studies indicate. Next, I'm going to explain about linguistic impact of accounting data and techniques. Various combinations in accounting will give rise to repertoire or different linguistic codes in intergroup and or intergroup communication. Linguistic constructs are used to accommodate the lack of consensus on the meaning of accounting concepts, making certain issues identifiable as research needs, such as the first one is the nature of institutional language in each professional accounting group, and the second one is existence of linguistic codes that are professionally associated with the field of accounting, consisting of formal language and public language, and the third one is the implementation of a test to determine whether. Next, I'm going to explain about functional fixation and data. Certain conditions can cause a decision maker to be unable to adjust their decision-making process or make changes in the accounting process. They take into account and psychological factors of functional fixation. Psychologists are interested in functional fixation related to the function or use of an object, while accounting researchers who are influenced by the explorations of E.G. Lee, J. Dick, and Knight are more interested in functional fixation related to data. There is a distinction between functional fixation and data fixation. In the case of functional fixation, psychologists use objects such as metals, ropes, and boxes to perform relatively simple tasks, while in the case of data fixation, data is used to solve problems that are not well structured. And last from my material is the nature of information induction. Although the impact of information usage in general has been known and accepted as part of the stimulus-response paradigm, recent phenomena regarding information inducers or simple inducers introduced by Prakash and Rappaport are intended to refer to a complex process in which individual behavior is influenced by the information needed for communication. Information inducers arise from the tendency of recipients to anticipate the potential use of information as a consequence of information usage and their responses to those consequences.
Okay, I will explain information processing approach. The information processing approach focuses on how financial information is processed, presented, and used by stakeholders to support decision making. This approach emphasizes the importance of relevance and reliability of information in a complex economic context. Basic concept: provision of relevant information. This approach aims to provide relevant economic information to users of financial statement. And then transformation of economic event. Accounting information is generated to observation of economic events that occur. These events are transformed into accounting data that can be used for analysis and decision making. And then data incorporation and evaluation by user. This approach assumes that users of financial statement have the responsibility to evaluate and combine data according to their needs. Approach advantage: provides flexibility to users to interpret the data according to their needs, and enhances the relevance of information by focusing on significant economic events, and then promote transparency in accounting reporting by fully disclosing event characteristics. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, and the next material about evaluation of the behavior approach. The behavioral approach in accounting highlights how accounting information influences individual and group behavior in decision making. This approach focuses on two main aspects: the relevance of accounting information in the decision making process of decision communication orientation, and the impact of such information of the behavior or decision making. And the behavior approach evaluation is a two pros and disadvantages. In the pros, deeper understanding by examining psychology and social factors. This approach provides deeper insight into how accounting information is used in practice, academia. And the disadvantage is the orientation and methodology limited. Many studies in behavior accounting face challenge in the terms of theoretical and methodologies rigor, so the results may lack consequently or reliability. Although this behavior approach offers valuable perspective in the understanding the interaction between accounting information and human behavior, future development is needed theoretical and methodological frameworks to improve this reliability and applicability in accounting practice. And that's the presentation of our group. More or less applause and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.